guys, what's up? Alright, I wanted to talk about the show, The Game. Yes, as y'all know, The Game is on its 6th season, and it premiered its first episode from the 6th season on Tuesday night. And boy, I don't know if I have a lot to say about it, but these are just my feelings and my thoughts about the show. And I was just wondering if people actually thought the same way. I know it's got to be a few people that think this way, but, I just wanted to share my thoughts with you all. Here's the thing, I want to say this. I've been looking at The Game ever since it came on the first time from season 1. I watched season 1, 2, 3, 4. When it went on hiatus for I think about 2 years, they came back and did they did 4 and 5, and now they're on to 6. So this is like their 3rd year back from them supposedly being canceled and now being picked up by BET. Okay, let me just say this. I liked this show when it first came on. It seemed like when they got to the 3rd season is when it just started to go real downhill, and everything was just going left and right and sideways and backwards and forwards. It was just so weird. You didn't know whether you was coming or going and what was going on. And I think it lost a lot of the essence of the show, and then they picked it back up and it changed. I will admit that the last 2 years it was on, there were still some things about the show I didn't care for, but I continued to watch it because I wanted to support the show. And because I have been watching it for so long, unless it gets to the point where it's just utterly beyond bad, I'll stop watching it. And I can't honestly say I stopped looking at a show when I started watching it, because it's never been to that point where I just couldn't take it and not look at it. That's me. So anyway, that being said, I want to say that the way the show is going so far with this season, I don't like the way the direction is going at all. I really hate it, to be honest with you. Mainly for 2 reasons. Derwin and Melanie's character. For you all that don't know or do know, Tia Mowry, that's her real name, who played Melanie, actually decided to leave the show and not come back. For the people that don't know why, she was doing a show with her sister called Tia and Tamara on the Style Network, and on that show her agent called her and told her that the producers were trying to do the show in a different direction, and one of the new directions that they were trying to do was put her role on a recurring status. Recurring means that you're not going to be on the show that much. They don't really never tell you like how many, but usually it's less than half of the show. Like if there's 30 episodes, then you'll probably be in less than 15, depending on the reason why they put you on recurring status. Which also means you're not getting as much pay, which also means that you're not getting airtime. And it also might mean that you can't look for another job because you're still committed to this one. I'm not really sure, but that's what I think. So she had a hard time with that because she really wanted to stay on the show. She loved the show. She wanted to continue to be on it, I guess, until they canceled it. And she was also worried about her fans and what her fans would think with her leaving the show and not being back. Her husband told her basically to do what she felt was best. She came up with a hard decision and decided that she wanted to leave the show. And she left. Now, with her leaving, that pretty much meant that they weren't going to replace her with another Melanie. When Lauren London was coming on the show, I thought that she was going to replace Melanie. I just thought that because she was light-skinned and, her features were somewhat similar to Tia's. I didn't know how they was going to bring her on the show. And at the time, when everybody was talking about Tia leaving the show, nobody, I don't think, really knew why or what happened. And I found out by watching her show. So I don't know how publicly it was that, everybody knew the real deal. So when they were introducing Lauren London to the show, I just assumed that she was replacing Tia, and she was replacing Tia. She was going to be Melanie's character, and that she wasn't going to be on no recurrent status or anything like that. So I didn't know. So when I found out, I'm like, oh, I put the 2 and 2 together and came up with 5. Yeah, with 5, and realized what they were doing. And then of course that meant Lauren wasn't going to replace Tia. Okay, so they put her on recurring status. Alright, so she decided not to take the position, and I think that, on the show it said that Nickelodeon was developing a show for her, around her, and it's supposed to be like a family show. So hopefully it'll get picked up and it will be in production. I don't think it's in production now. I don't know because I don't watch Nickelodeon like I used to, but that's what they was trying to do. That they got picked up and they was getting ready to start taping the shows and stuff in a short length of time. So I don't know. I have to look into that and see. So no Tia, no Melanie's character. Now, show starts off and we find out within the first 5-7 minutes that Derwin is getting traded to the worst team ever, according to them. And it's in Baltimore, same place where Tia was supposed to, Melanie's character was supposed to study her, I don't know if it was her internship, but she was going to go ahead and be a doctor. And supposedly where she wanted to go was Johns Hopkins. And that's, of course, is in Baltimore. So then they trade Derwin to Baltimore. I'm like, okay, I get it now. So they really were supposed to, in the end, put them together in the same town. But, now I see that, okay, Derwin's character, Pooch Hall, which is his real name, Pooch, that Pooch's character, Derwin, was going to be a recurring status also. So now it made sense. Melanie's character was going to be recurring. Derwin's character was going to be recurring. Got it. And then everybody else was supposed to basically have main roles. Brandy, if you don't know, she has a main role on the show now. So I guess she's going to be on there permanently. Lauren London is permanently on the show. But we all knew that. The new guy, Blue, I don't know his real name because they had a different person's name on there. He's supposedly a permanent new character, of course, because he was the one that got traded where Derwin got traded to the other team. He's permanent. They always put Jason's character as guest starring, but damn, he's been in like every episode, so I don't know what that's about. And I think that's it. Malika's permanent, of course, as well. So this whole thing about them being a recurring role is what I don't like, because I personally feel like if it's the same show, same people, unless they decide they want to be on a recurring status, that's different, and you'll still feel like there's something missing in the show, at least I do, and you'll miss not seeing them, but then you kind of understand it. From the way I understood it, I guess because of the way they was going with Melanie's character, Melanie's storyline, I'm sorry y'all, that she was going to be recurring, and of course that's not what Tia wanted. Derwin, I guess his character, like I said, he's on recurring. I guess that maybe Pooch didn't have a problem with it. One of my friends, Allie, said that she heard that he was working on another project, and maybe that's why so for him to be on recurring, maybe he's okay with that. But I would think that normally if he wasn't doing anything, he probably would have a problem with it, because just like everybody else, they want to be on the show on every episode. They don't want to be missing here and there, and you're on the episode here, there, and here. That's just my opinion. But I didn't like the way the whole show was going. I don't like Melanie and Derwin being on a recurring status. Now, like I said, since Tia decided not to come back, then they're not going to even show Melanie. So that just probably made it even easier for them. They just, write her out. Like she's studying, but you won't see her. You won't never see nobody playing Melanie. Derwin you'll probably see a few times, but not many, because he's on recurring status. Why? Because they traded him to Baltimore. If they trade you to Baltimore, they're not going to show you on the show. Just got to be realistic. Not as much. So I'm just upset about that. I feel like when you take main characters out of the show, it loses its essence of the show. Even if the show is struggling, you still want to see everybody on the show. You can always put new people on the show, but when you take the main characters out, I feel like you lose something. Same thing like when they had girlfriends on the show, Girlfriends, and Tony left the show because of money issues, and you still had Joan and Lynn and Maya. The show was still good, but with Tony not being on the show, it lacked some of the essence of the show. Not because Tony made the show, but because she was part of the show, of the whole show, of all the people together. And with her not being on there, you just lost the essence of the show. And of course, the next season, they went off the air. So that's just how I feel about the game. I like the direction that Tasha Mack's character is going, and then the Rick Fox situation is good, and her and Pookie. I love the fact that they got Jason with Brandy, and they explain his situation with him. just wanted to be with white women in the last season, and then how he hooked up with Brandy and he stayed married to her. I thought that was a really good, very great writing with that. It was great to me. Malik is the other situation. God, if they could just either put him on a straight and narrow and let him be the way he was. Still crazy and foolish, but straight and narrow. All this binging that he's doing with the drinking, he's falling off the wagon, he's on the wagon, off the wagon, on the wagon. I'm in love, I'm here to do Captain Saver, you know what, and then he gets blackmailed, he gets binged. It's like, damn, can Malik get just one break during the whole season? Ever since they made him go down this path of him drinking, he's just never been able to be 100% right. He gets there, and then they always pull him over to this side, and I'm just like, can we just have one season where Malik is just regular, straight up crazy without all this other stuff surrounding it? It just makes my head spin personally. I'm just tired of seeing him fall off and on the wagon. Let him stay settled, and then let him grow up and be a mature person. That's the other thing. It's like they get him to be mature, and then he goes back to being low-life Malik again, and messed up Malik, and all of this stuff. I just wish that the writers would stop writing him like that and put him in a straight direction and let him go forward. They tried to do that with Jason, and Derwin, you know, I mean, he was in different spots, but you know, for the most part, they had him going straight too. It's just Malik, I get that he's a wild child, but to do all of that like that, as long as they've been doing it, is, to me, it's just ridiculous. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how the show goes, but I will continue to watch the show. I just don't like the fact that Melanie and Derwin's character is on a recurring role, which means you won't hardly ever see him. I don't like it. I wish it was different. I heard some people say that they won't miss Melanie's character and they won't miss Derwin's character either. You know, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody feels differently. I feel like they will be missed because they were part of the show. That's just how I am. So, let me know what y'all think about the show as a whole. Derwin being on recurring status, Melanie on recurring status, but you're not going to see her because Tia decided not to come back and they're not replacing her. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about the show and the direction that it's going in. Anything. The new guy, Lauren London, Malik. Let me know what y'all think, okay? I'm just curious to know, because I know a lot of people watch this show and probably had ever since the show came on. Alright? Alright, everybody. Well, that's my video for tonight. So, like I said, let me know what you think, okay? You have a good day, good night, good evening, depending on when you're seeing this video. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care. And I will hope to see you soon in the next video. Alright, everybody. Until next time, take care. Bye.